I wanted to create a place where women can come to be empowered by other women. Women helping women, with interviews of extraordinary and inspiring leaders, artists, celebrities, and change makers who have overcome great challenges to become incredibly successful and then give back to others so that they can love and believe in themselves, follow their bliss, and shine their light. In this way, we can truly be the change we wish to see in the world. Welcome to the Orgena Rose Show. Hello everyone, we are here again today with the amazing Andrea Carter, who is the founder and CEO of Wealthy Women Warrior. Please welcome to the show, Andrea.
Thank you, Orgena, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Yes, it's good to have you back, and we have just been rolling along this amazing journey, truly, finding out about the archetypes that you work with and how we can learn so many things about ourselves and really get great insight. Today, we're talking about, and we're making a call to so many women out there, to take off your Superwoman cape. I wore mine just for this from today. So, I mean, this is a bold statement and this will speak to very specific people.
Sure.
And where does this come from?
Well, I think that this is another bold statement, but I really believe that the armor that we're wearing today of being perfect is actually our number one fashion accessory that we're putting on every single day. And we might change the accessory. So we might wear a different armor when we go to work versus what we're wearing when we come home versus what we're wearing when we're going out with friends or being in front of perhaps family. But we really do wear this veil of perfection. And you know, with the archetypes, there are a couple that have more of that tendency. But the reality is that we've been conditioned that you know, to be good or to be worthy or to be accepted, we need to be perfect. And that is a hard thing to maintain.
Well, it's impossible, right?
It is. It's absolutely impossible.
It actually doesn't exist is what my belief is. And in fact, the imperfection of life is many times the perfection.
Absolutely. Being imperfect is perfect.
Perfectly imperfect,
yes.
Exactly. I even wrote a song about it because I just think it's so powerful. So that's why I really love this message. So how do women find themselves in this position?
Well, I think a lot of times it's, again, messaging, but I think we also put ourselves in that place. And I know, you know, when I first had my son, I realized this is what I was doing. And so when I grew up, there was a period of time where we didn't have proper food in our house, and often there wasn't food in the house. And while that would be part of that shame story, what I ended up doing was going and getting a job at McDonald's. And I helped, you know, essentially put food and clothes and those things for my siblings. And from that, I always said when I was a mom that I was going to do the best I could, being, you know, whatever I fed my child, it was going to be high in nutrients. They would not eat McDonald's. You know, I had very, very, very high standards because, and it wasn't wrong. Like, that's the thing we have to understand is that, again, I'm not placing the blame on my parents. They tried very hard, and both of them had completely different struggles. And yet, because of what happened, I took it upon myself that when I had a child, I wanted to be different. And so when Logan was born, you know, fortunately and unfortunately, my husband is 6'10". He's a very large man. And so our son was also born very large, and I could not keep up at one point with, because I breastfed and I couldn't keep up with nursing. And so I just couldn't. There was no humanly way possible. And I remember feeling so much like a failure because I had to introduce formula. And the judgment wasn't from anyone outside.
Right.
It was my internal judgment.
Right.
And then my friends watching me go through this struggle and saying, Andrea, like, unplug from it. You know, you can't physically keep up.
Right.
And this is just, you know, one example, because we look at you know, the mommy wars. I call them mommy wars because it is the mommy wars of whether you're breastfeeding or not, and the judgment that we're placing on women. And this can even be, you know, you decided to plow through with your career, and you chose not to have children. What is wrong with that choice? There isn't anything wrong with it.
Right.
And yet this element of perfection is that we need to, you know, look the part, be the part, act the part.
And everything needs to be in place, right? And we need to just do it all the model, and it's all perfect. And the irony is, we had created this kind of Stepford Wives model as perfection, right? The June Cleaver for certain generations, right? And that has continued to carry down through.
Well, and even when we look at what's happening in the job market now, I mean, women, we're in great places, but the majority of times, a lot of women now are choosing to stay at home instead of returning to the job market, because there is this element of perfection, of not being that best mom,
right?
And the stigma that comes from being a working mom or not.
Right.
So what ends up happening, regardless of which one you choose, because it really,
you can't win. We've set it up so you can't win.
And so what happens is that we put on that shame armor, or the guilt armor, or the anger or the frustration, and essentially all it is it's defensive patterning.
Yeah.
And so then what happens is that now we have, you know, our shield or our cloak or our cape.
Can't touch me.
And so what do we do?
Yeah.
You know, that's where the eventual rage comes out, the frustration, the anger,
irritability, and
all of that.
Yeah.
You know, I had a woman who told me in one of our coaching sessions, and you know, I think anybody out there who looks at their child and doesn't get frustrated is lying, because I love my children.
Right.
I mean, they are my gifts from God.
Right.
And yet, oh my gosh, some days.
Right.
You know, and I say that with all the love I can, but
absolutely.
you know, my client came to me one day and she said, you know, Andrea, I just can't juggle it all. I can't do it all. And I just looked her in the eye and I said, so why are you trying?
Exactly.
But nobody has said that.
Right, that it's
There
okay.
is nothing in our society that says, why are you trying?
Very much in the United States and Canada even and so forth, there is this woman, you must do it all yourself. Yeah. Whereas in other cultures and countries, there's very much the understanding it takes a village, right? And you need the help. It's built in that you're going to have someone to be there with you in your first 6 months after birth. I mean, these things are understood, that no one human being is meant to do all of it. And yet we, in this particular, you know, our culture, we place this expectation that you are.
Yep.
And so then women are really trapped.
Absolutely. And it's not something that just automatically goes away either. I should say that, because this is still, you know, I work with this stuff, and yet I will still put my cape on.
Yeah.
You know, I should be able to run my own corporation and handle my staff and deal with my children and be at the PTA meetings and be on a board and still have a fabulous relationship with my husband and be the perfect daughter-in-law, daughter, sister.
Yeah, like just even saying that, aren't you exhausted? I mean, absolutely exhausted from that.
And we're walking around exhausted because we're feeling like we do need to do it all.
Right, and we're not measuring up, and we're not good enough because we're not perfect. And
we keep going back to this, again, it's that lack mentality. It's the shame of not being everything.
At all times, to
at
everyone.
All times.
Yeah. So you're inviting women to take off that Superwoman cape.
Absolutely.
So we're going to find out how we can do that in a way that still is supportive and nurturing for ourselves right after this. We'll be right back.
No more waiting.
Are you ready to completely catapult your life and business fast? Want to step into the spotlight and finally be seen as the expert and star that you are? Ready to have more fun in your business and work smarter, not harder? Then you're in the right place. Step into the spotlight, shine your light, and be the star you are in the Celebrity VIP Day. If you're done being the best kept secret, want to reach more people and ready to stop working so hard with little payoff, step up into your celebrity. In this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you'll get the star treatment. Have a TV talk show interview guaranteed. Be ready to rock the media and interview on national TV, radio, and magazines, and so much more. Your fabulous fun-filled day includes hair and makeup by a top Hollywood makeup artist to the stars, professional photos by a top Hollywood photographer, exclusive VIP lunch at a luxurious castle, a guaranteed interview with Orgena Rose, walk the red carpet, and enjoy a gala reception. As a bonus, you'll receive 4 power-packed live training calls to prepare you to truly shine in the spotlight and maximize your appearances. And a free ticket to the Soul Awards Gala in Hollywood, honoring extraordinary women who are shining their light by helping others. You're now a recognized celebrity and reaching more people than you ever have before. It's all possible with the Celebrity VIP Day. Only 12 spots available for this exclusive experience, so don't wait. Apply now. We are back with Andrea Carter, who is really putting out a wonderful invitation to women to take off the Superwoman cape. So Andrea, again, you've laid out beautifully how we as women really try to strive for this perfection that doesn't exist, and some of the ways that that shows up for us. Now, how can we talk about really helping women to take off the cape? Because the cape is there, we think, to protect ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. So let's get into a little bit how some of those ways show up, and then how we can shift them.
Absolutely. So for a lot of women, when we've got all of that on us, what ends up happening is that the defensive patterning kicks in also from a physiological perspective. And so, when we look at a lot of the feminine health issues, menopause, hot flashes, migraines, when you look at fertility, infertility, when you look at various different stomach or digestive issues, all of those concepts, pathologies or illnesses, if you will, can also be translated into the physical body. And they show up as stress patterns initially, but if we don't do something with them, it translates into much, much more. And a lot of times we are living in very defensive conditions. So even looking at what you're watching on television, we look at how many people have seen all of the episodes of Law and Order or CSI or Cold Case. You watch the news or you read a newspaper. That lends to our attachment, if you will, to this defensive patterning. So the first stage of taking off the armor is also connecting with yourself of what makes you happy, what is actually something that you can do to allow your body to relax. And a lot of women have now gotten to the place where we don't know what that is.
Right.
So women are going to sleep at night and we wonder why we can't turn off. I joke, and this is why I'm saying for myself, I have to be very good at practicing this, because this is something that I don't think that there's a woman on the planet that doesn't have these capabilities or tendencies to go to this. And so the how is every single morning before I let my feet touch the floor, instead of me thinking to myself, I didn't get enough sleep, because that's also a lack perspective. And it's what sets up the day for protection, because, oh, I haven't had enough sleep.
Right, so I'm going to be like this, and I'm going to be short and impatient, and or you just plan all
I don't
these
think we even say that. I don't think it's something that consciously comes out of our mouths. But I do know that if I don't get out of bed, if I get out of bed before saying, you know, something to the effect of, I'm really grateful today for, or today I'm going to be mindful of, because I know that I have this on my schedule. I need to connect to whatever it is that I'm doing and be grateful for the one area that I can just relax into it. So start your day by doing an attitude of gratitude is what, you know, I often will say. Because otherwise, that's where you get out of bed, you're rushing around, you know, you go into we have slate floors in our kitchen, and, you know, if I don't start my day with that, I know how it's going to roll. And it's not that I'm making it happen. That's not coming from a conscious perspective, but that's where, you know, you're feeding your children your breakfast, or you're eating your own breakfast, and something drops on the floor and you've got glass everywhere and all the rest of it. So start with that place. Start with, before you even get out of bed.
Love that.
The attitude of gratitude. We have specific ways of looking at it with each of the archetypes. And, you know, moving forward, I think that it's important for when you're in that mode as well to catch yourself. So when you're in the panic, when you're in the situation, understand that you're the person who's judging yourself way more harshly than anybody else around you. And look at it from the perspective of, okay, I'm frustrated, I'm anxious, I'm maybe scared, and look at it from the place of, I am enough. So in this moment, even though I'm feeling all of these things, where am I enough?
And just really that truth that I am enough.
I am enough.
Period.
And it may be, you know, for some of my clients who have really struggled, it is to just say that in the moment. I am enough. Right now, I'm enough. And say that to yourself right now at home. You know, take a deep breath into that. I'm enough. I am enough. Can you feel just saying that, how your body just kind of goes, oh, wait a second, I'm enough.
Right.
And start with those. You know, with everyone will be able to go online and access the assessment. And I'd like to, you know, also incorporate the fact that the assessment really tells you what archetypes you are. The Wealthy Woman Warrior book, which I'm still percolating on. It'll be released shortly, but you know, that can also be where you get a little bit more of these really great tidbits and then the programs as well.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Yeah, because this is so much a beginning journey to make these connections with the archetypes, to understand yourself, to understand ourselves and the strengths and the challenges and how to work with each one. That's what I love the most, is that specificity around, if this is your archetype, then these are the ways in which you're going to be empowered to be the best that you can be, right? Really step up into your highest light. So it just gets more and more delicious. We have one more that I'm super, super excited about. And it really is all about getting your sacred skin in the game. I love that. That's so yum. It really, really is. And it's a beautiful culmination of the work that you're doing, which is just so powerful. This is really, really delicious stuff. So I really invite you to make sure you download that assessment, find out your archetype, and then you'll be able to connect with Andrea even more in finding out how you can specifically really step into your highest light. So we will be back with Andrea in our next segment. Again, get your sacred skin in the game with Andrea Carter, founder and CEO of Wealthy Women Warrior. We'll be back next time. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today on our show. I really hope that there was something shared that really helps you shine your biggest and brightest light. Please stop by again, like us on Facebook, tweet us, all of those good things. And most importantly, please always remember, it's all about love.